The 2021 Fall in the Field team from SOU. I am Mr. Beckett, and with me here today is
Miss Laney.
And today we're here to talk to you about art in nature. First, we need to find nature. We found nature here at Lithia Park here in Ashland, but you can find it anywhere. It exists all around us. You can find it in our parks, in our backyards, and even along city streets. Like while we are here at Lithia Park, you can make art in nature wherever, be it your yard or a park. To find a green space near you, please talk to the adult responsible for you to consider your options.
Nature has served as inspiration for millennia, be it the first peoples creating great myths to explain the forces of nature, or modern-day scientists and designers searching for solutions to the problems our society encounters. Henry David Thoreau is a great example of a thinker who found inspiration in nature. He lived in a small cabin at Walden Pond, where he wrote Walden, a reflection on living in harmony with nature, finding meaning in his observations and experiences. Nature also inspires solutions to modern-day problems. Designers have found that studying and mimicking nature can lead to effective and efficient solutions to problems. We call this biomimicry. Mimicking bird profiles built more aerodynamic planes. Down feather coats are more warm and provide better insulation. Even creating swimsuits that mimic shark skin to reduce drag for competitive swimmers. Just ask Michael Phelps. Modern artist and environmentalist Andy Goldsworthy finds his greatest inspiration in nature. Before creating an art piece, Andy spends time attuning to the environment, sometimes spending days observing the site and reflecting upon how best to fit in with nature. Using only materials he finds on site, he creates elaborate art pieces. These sculptures are temporary, existing only until the natural forces, such as wind, rain, and critters, dismantle the sculpture, returning the site to its natural state.
There are so many different ways to make art using nature, and inspiration can come from anything around you. We're going to show you just a couple different examples of projects that you can do using art in nature.
Our first method of using nature to make art is leaf rubbing. By using crayons, paper, and leaves, we can create replicas of the leaves to make art. The first step to creating a leaf rubbing is finding leaves. After you've found your leaves, you can either trace the leaf for a stronger outline or place the leaf underneath your paper. Using the side of a crayon, gently rub the paper above the leaf. As you do this, you will start to see the impressions of the leaf start to form. Continue rubbing the leaf until you are satisfied with the impression. Use other leaves to form and create your own art. While doing this, I used various leaves to make a whale!
Here. When creating art in nature, there are several things to keep in mind. You want to be respectful of other living things and not invade their space. A common saying is leave no trace. Part of leave no trace is leaving the area the same as how you find it. So after we've created our sculpture, what we're going to do is we are going to disassemble it and return the pieces back to where we found them. When gathering materials, what we want to do is kind of follow the 3 Ds. Dead, down, or dinky. All of these materials were things that were already found on the ground. They're dead, or they're small, but it's not going to create a big disturbance when we're there, when it's removed. So looking for downed twigs, pine cones, bark chips, fallen leaves, stones, with all great materials to use for our art.
Another activity you can do is nature journaling. You can find a place, it could be quiet, it could be in a busy area, and just sit for a moment and make observations. You can listen to the sounds, you can look at all the colors, you can smell the air, and then I can draw pictures, I can write poems, I can just write what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking. All of these are also expressions of art and expressions of your creativity using the nature around you.
I think that part of the fun of doing art in nature is trying to identify what we found. And so when we're looking here at our plants, we've got a couple of leaves that we used. And so we're going to use a field guide here. We're using this field guide, Trees to Know in Oregon, to help us identify it. If you go into the field guide, you can find a dichotomous key. The dichotomous key is a tool that we can follow to help us identify leaves. So the first question that we're looking at is, are the leaves compound or are the leaves simple? Well, what that's really looking for is just how many leaves grow on the stem at once. And when we look here, we can see that only one leaf grows. So we know that this is a simple leaf. So we don't have to worry about this section anymore. Then we have to look on if the leaves are opposite or if the leaves are alternate. So that means we have to look at the tree. When we're looking at the tree, we can see that these leaves are opposite as they keep going, as they grow at the same spot, out of the same node. When we look here, that tree, so when we're looking, we're trying to see if the leaves grow opposite or alternate. As we can see here, the leaves are growing opposite one another, and so we're gonna follow down here. And that leads us straight to maple leaves, or if the leaves are lobed, you know, do they have different sections or do they not? And these leaves are lobed, which means it's a maple. If we follow that to page 90, it shows us a bunch of maples. When we look at our maples, we can see that there are a bunch of different species and it could be any one of them. Now let's go back and look at our two leaves. We think that we have two different maples here based on the serration or the waviness of the leaf lobes here. So we think that this one, while looking at it, is a big leaf maple. We think this is not quite a full leaf yet. However, leaves on the tree are much larger, and so we think this is a big leaf maple. We challenge you to identify and label the objects that you use to make your art. Now, part of the joy in making art is sharing it with others. If you'd like to share it with us, we'd love to see it. You can email a picture of the submission to fallinthefield@sou.edu, and we would absolutely adore to see it. Thank you again for joining us. If you would like, you can please check out some of our other videos on our website at virtualfallinthefield.org. And have a great night. We hope you learned a lot and had fun making art.